And we are live. Hey, everyone. Welcome to the Disputed Lands. So today we have got some pretty exciting stuff. We got a character build for Tormund Giantsbane. And with me today, we've got our Dungeon Master, Stephen Stark. Goes by Stev. You want to introduce yourself? Tell us where
Yeah.
people can find you.
Hi, Steven, Steph, whatever. Um, I've been playing D&D for a long, long time. Been running games of D&D since the early 90s. Been playing since the mid 80s. Love A Song of Ice and Fire. Amanda and I met through the book fan community many years ago. We've been to cons together many times. But yeah, I'm an old school D&D guy. She's an old school, like A Song of Ice and Fire deep dive nerd. So yeah, this is a match made in heaven.
Exactly. With our powers combined, we will build Tormund
Wonder
Giantsbane.
Wonder Twin powers activate.
Exactly. So let's go ahead and take a look at our character build for today. So we are going to start with just writing in some of our basic information. We've got Tormund, Giantsbane.
Right.
There we go. And what were your? Now we are going to be doing level 8. We decided that we're building everybody at level 8, but the class. What are your thoughts?
Okay, so there's a few things, a few ways to go. The obvious choice, and the one that I'm still leaning towards, is barbarian.
Absolutely, that's exactly how I was thinking.
There are arguments to be made for a level or two of other classes possibly mixed into that to multi-class him if we wanted to. Things like fighter, possibly even ranger, or dare I say druid.
Those are some options. And I thought about all the ways that he could be multi-classed as well, but when you get down to it, he really just kind of fits the barbarian through and through.
He does.
So
I mean, and again, we're trying to build him as he's portrayed in the books and the show, but we're trying to portray him as he's shown.
Exactly. We are doing a character builds as close to the character as possible.
Right.
So we are looking at a level 8 barbarian.
Probably. I'm still chewing on multi-classing him into fighter.
Okay.
And I also, and hear me out, instead of any of that other stuff, a level or two of bard.
Okay.
He has definitely got a high charisma. People look to him as a leader. He's a great storyteller. You know, he's not your traditional loot skipping down the road. He's not Yaskir.
Mm-hmm.
But bard takes a lot of forms. So
absolutely. Yeah, so that would be interesting. I didn't even really consider bard. I can definitely see like how you would be able to incorporate that into his character. I did not see that one coming, and I like it. I do like it.
Anybody in the chat have any, like, you can make him a elite level barbarian and it would be perfectly fine. But I just like that leadership role he often finds himself in can be well expressed by taking a level or two of bard.
No, I like it. I like it. But you did say that you were leaning towards doing the straight barbarian, correct?
I still am, but like I want to give every idea its due.
Yes. Yeah, I definitely was thinking about just ranger and fighter. And I can definitely see how you could incorporate levels of fighter into Tormund because he's good at fighting. He's a good fighter. But I feel like he really embodies the barbarian, his character as a whole.
He is pretty archetypal.
Yes, like when you get to that scene where Tormund is he is eating the chicken leg and he is watching Brienne.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's Tormund.
Yeah, that's
it's a very I read that was just Christopher like impromptu kind of just doing his own thing, and they decided to include that. But it's just his character. He is a barbarian.
right.
So
Yeah, I think we're fine moving forward with just barbarian. Again, I love the idea of putting a little bit of bard in him, putting a little bit of fighter in him, but like that's me like trying to min max a character build, I think, to some degree. Which, by the way, min maxing coming from this dungeon master, not a bad thing. You're playing highly skilled experts. If you're playing D&D 5th edition, it's okay to min max your character. Just don't do it at the expense of making a decent, fun character to play with. Anyway, so yeah, I guess 8th level barbarian.
sounds. Let me go ahead and we've already got that in there. So next we are looking at race.
Variant human still?
Yeah, I mean, I
mean,
don't think we're gonna get much, a whole lot of variation with this with our characters.
I don't
So
think
a
so either.
variant.
But again, because we're also just assigning stats, not doing racial stat modifiers. We're just assigning them. Variant human gives us a feat at level 1, which helps us hone in on a specific thing to define the character better. I like it.
Exactly. So we have got barbarian and variant human. Thoughts on background?
Okay, so there's a couple. Outlander works. Folk hero works. Those are the two that come to mind first. Let me look at. I'm just going to Google this real quick.
I do like Outlander.
I do too. It's like the first one that comes to mind. Folk hero is another one because he's sort of like a bit of a legend even amongst the free folk, you know. And looking through other backgrounds, I'm not seeing much else.
Yeah, there's not a lot else. Does the chat have any recommendations? I'm really leaning towards the Outlander personally.
Yeah, again, I think folk hero works, but I think Outlander is probably the more it's probably better. And yeah, I've just looked through all the backgrounds and I don't see
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and read the background for Outlander. It says, you grew up in the wilds, far from civilization and the comforts of town and technology. You've witnessed the migration of herds larger than forests, survived weather more extreme than any city dweller could comprehend, and enjoyed the solitude of being the only thinking creature for miles in any direction. The wilds are in your blood, whether you are a nomad, an explorer, a recluse, a hunter-gatherer, or even a marauder. Even places where you don't know the specific features of the terrain, you know the ways of the wild. I think that's pretty good. I do. So let's take a look at what that would give us. As far as skills, you get proficiency in athletics and survival. So that's
both are
good.
very useful.
Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead.
Both fit our character as well.
Athletics and survival down there. Okay. Now let's see what else we get.
You get a one type of musical instrument as a tool proficiency. I don't know that we ever see him play an instrument, but I would be happy for his proficiency to be something like just like fireside storytelling.
Exactly. And, you know, he could have a drum when he sings The Last of the Giants.
Right.
He could have a drum. He definitely fits the bill of a drum player. Languages.
He can speak giant.
So giants actually speak the old tongue.
Okay, so
that's right. We're doing D&D, so
well, I mean, it could be the old tongue. It could but it's giant.
So what I will do is I will put giant, and then I'll put in parentheses old tongue. Because really, the giants are some of the last to actually be able to speak it. So the language of the giants is just basically the old tongue.
That's fine.
And of course, he can speak common. So we're going to go ahead and add that. And we are moving on to his equipment. He gets a staff, a hunting trap.
I mean, equipment, I feel like is something you add. You just give them based on the character. So we'll give him a big axe and like hide armor. But like, yeah, he doesn't need all that extra. Like that's kind of fluff at this point, I feel like.
Exactly. And if we're going with the barbarian, you do get an armored defense. And from what I can see from Tormund's character, he doesn't really wear a whole lot of armor. What he wears is just his basic
like warm weather clothes.
Yes, the clothing that the wildlings normally wear. So he is definitely an unarmored defense type of a character.
Right.
So let's take a look.
Let's fill in his background real quick.
Okay.
He's an outlander.
All right. Alignment.
Neutral?
He's maybe even chaotic. He's pretty chaotic. I would put him at either chaotic good or chaotic
good or chaotic neutral. He's not wild enough to be chaotic neutral.
So chaotic good?
I think so.
I mean, it's just that his morals are shaped from the wildling, so he carries the morals that were instilled in him.
But he's still trying to do right by other people whenever he can.
Exactly. So
I think chaotic good is
chaotic neutral or chaotic. Or do we say chaotic neutral or chaotic good?
I think chaotic good. Chaotic neutral. Okay. He's not. Again, he's too much of a team player to be chaotic neutral.
Excellent. So we've got our 8th level barbarian with an outlander background who is chaotic good. He's a variant human. All right.
Okay, so
it's going to get a feat, just so I can remind myself.
Right, that he gets a feat later.
All right. So do you want to start assigning his stats?
So he's got a good strength and a good constitution, but I don't feel like either one of them are astronomically high. They're not 20.
No, I agree. And he's definitely, and I think that we gave the hound maybe a 19, if I can recall.
I think we gave the hound a 19 strength and a 20 constitution.
Yes, and I feel as though Tormund is slightly below Sandor when it comes to strength. So I would not give him a 19. I would probably put him around a 17.
I mean, I could even go as low as a 16, but 17 is fine.
Okay. So we have a strength of 17.
Now, for game reasons, I kind of want his constitution to be at least an 18, but I'd be fine with an 18.
Okay, I feel like that's good. And honestly, he you know, we aren't too far in the books, but as far as the show goes, he survived quite a lot. You know, I mean, he basically, if I recall correctly, he did survive the final battle in Winterfell, correct? I don't know. I try to put season 8 kind of out of my memories.
Yeah, like you're asking me who watched it once when it aired.
Yes.
So
But he has survived a lot.
I'm
So,
only just now coming back to revisiting that show. Like
yes,
it
yeah.
like real talk, some people enjoyed it and I'm happy for them. I did not enjoy the end. There were moments that were amazing. Don't get me wrong, there were. But like anytime an entire army kind of forgets about another entire military force, I have a problem with that.
Absolutely.
Anyway,
so we are looking at a con.
18.
What do you think? 18. Okay.
And his intelligence is not high.
No.
8?
I think that's fair. That's his dump stat. He's got maybe a little bit more wisdom.
Yeah. I mean, he's
10, 11.
Yeah. Either one is fine, 10 or 11, which is average.
Okay, and charisma, he is going to go a little bit higher. We skipped Dex, so we'll have to go back up to Dex, but his charisma is going to be a little bit higher.
Yeah, he is very charismatic. I want to give him a 15.
15's fair. I was actually thinking maybe a little bit lower, like a 14.
Mechanically in the game, a 15 and a 14 are pretty much the same. So we're both in the same ballpark. If you want to give him a 14, that's fine. 14 is good.
Dex.
And dexterity is good, not great. 12?
Sounds
13?
good. Actually, I was thinking about 12 or 13. We can go 13.
Okay, great.
Okay.
It's a good looking character.
Yeah, I think that's right about where he is.
I'd play those stats.
I play those stats too. So that is a good character right there. Okay. Oh, yeah. And that's perfect. And that honestly, that really fits for a barbarian build. This is what
yeah, I mean, charisma is kind of high. Charisma is kind of high comparatively to most barbarians, but
right. Unless you were doing a grappler build and you were doing the barbarian grappler build, I've heard of it. I have not seen it in play, but I find that one very interesting. So let's go ahead. Take a look at where we are as far as our stats go.
Okay. So our proficiency bonus is a +3 for whatever that matters, you know. Yeah, okay. Strength 3, Dex 1.
Okay, and then this is a 4. And this is what, a -1, right?
-1.
And this is a 0.
0. And charisma is a +2.
Okay. All right, we got it. And let's see, proficiency bonus at level 8 is a 3. Okay. So there we go. We are building our character right there.
All right. Now I'm going to open up, we get the barbarian rules in front of me.
I am doing the same thing at level 1. Level 1. We have got unarmored defense and rage.
Right. We definitely see him rage at least a time or two. I keep trying to scroll the character sheet on my screen, and it's just not working. Because I'm not the one in control of it. It's funny, though. I keep trying
got
to,
it.
like, scroll and look at other things real quick.
Right. I've got it right here.
Yeah. And we've already decided we're not going to put him in armor, so unarmored defense. We can already calculate his armor class. It'll be a 15, actually. It'll be 1 from his dexterity and 4 from his constitution. That's an easy one to do.
So there is some loud music outside. You can't hear it, can you?
I cannot. I cannot hear music.
Okay, good.
You will not get DMCA'd.
Okay. Let's see here. I actually lost my train. I lost my train of thought. So we have got our rage and our unarmored defense, and we are going to look at armor. We've already decided that there is going to be no armor. Weapons, we are looking at simple and martial weapons, and he does fight with an axe, so that's going to be yes. So do you want to go with a great axe?
Sure. I mean, the thing he's using is a two-hander only, so I would call it a great axe.
Yes, he does not fight with a shield. Very good.
Oh my.
What's that? Do you hear the music?
No. I'm looking at the chat, and a Black Hat Legion wants to be able to watch, but apparently they're at work.
Oh, no.
And then they said, screw it. They can perform their own surgery. I'm watching. I don't know how I feel about this, if I'm being honest.
Yeah. Yeah. So, okay. Yes, hopefully that's just jest. Hopefully that's going to be all in jest.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, so we are going to do our great axe, and what is that, a D10?
No, a D12.
Okay. Okay, 1d12.
Plus 3 from his strength.
Mm-hmm. And then another 3 from proficiency bonus?
No, the proficiency bonus does not add to
it's only with the attack bonus. That's
correct.
Right. So we have plus 3. All right, so we've got that. Oh, and let's see, our saving throws are in strength and constitution. Those are 2 pretty good saving throws.
Yeah, actually. You're not going to get knocked down. You're not going to get tired.
Mm-hmm. Let me go ahead and enter in our strength is going to be a 6. And our dex.
Tiny little numbers.
I know. You know, when I do this in Internet Explorer, right now I'm in Chrome. But when I go into Internet Explorer, I do have different options that allow me. I'm in the wrong. I am in the wrong browser. If I was in a different browser, I would be in. I can't change it because I've already got the stream up. But if I was in a different browser, I would actually be able to manually enter in larger things because it gives you that option. But in Chrome, for some reason, you do not get that option. So we are stuck where we are. So Arcana is going to be a little bit better. That's a 7. Our intelligence is -1. Luckily, there's not too many intelligence saving throws. Wisdom,
Right.
there are. We got a 0. And charisma, not a lot of charisma saving throws. We're at a 2.
More than you might think, but it's still one of the lesser.
Right.
Like it's 4th place overall, I would say.
Exactly.
Con, Dex, and Wisdom are the 3 most common saving throws.
Yeah, and it's usually the Dex that'll really get you because that's the fireball right there.
It's fireball. It's Constitution, Wisdom saving throws are things like don't get hit by hold person. So,
right,
like avoid paralysis, which is oh my gosh, being paralyzed sucks because every hit against you is automatic critical hit.
Right.
While you're paralyzed.
Right. Hold person is a great spell.
Stuff goes sideways very quickly when you're paralyzed. Yes. Like the last, really I had a character die recently. Why? Because I got paralyzed by ghouls and then torn to shreds.
Wow. Yeah, I think I got into some condition with one of my very first flying characters, and I forget which condition that it was. I'm sure it was like hold person or some sort of paralysis. But anyway, I was basically held and paralyzed while I was in the air. So I went straight down. My character died. And that was my first day that I brought that character out. I worked so hard on that build too. So there are some downsides to having characters with wings.
Oh yeah. Like I'm careful about who can and can't fly, and like I'm careful about the context, but it's not a hard no from me. Because yeah, if you're above the battlefield, you're also, if you're a flying archer, every ranged attacker is going to target you first. They understand how dangerous you are. So
exactly.
I'm fine with it. Just you got to know that my monsters are smart enough to target the dangerous ones. Anyway, we got off track a little bit. So I want to calculate his hit points real quick. He gets a D12 plus his Constitution modifier. So that's 16 hit points at level 1, which is ridiculous, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then if you're taking average hit points, which is what we've done for the other characters, he gets a 7 plus, he gets a 7 on the die, plus 4 from his Constitution. So that's 11 per level. So that's 77 from leveling up 7 times, plus the 16 is 93.
Yeah, see, Barbarian is such a great class. I love that. Yeah. You get so many hit points. You can do
and like
your Barbarian just can take a beating.
Also, his armor class is a 15. His initiative is a +1, I think, unless we change that. And his move speed is actually higher than everybody else's. Starting at 5th level, your speed increases by 10 feet when you aren't wearing heavy armor.
Which he's not, so he's going to be at 40.
Yeah.
Excellent. All right. And he is unarmored. Okay, we have got to enter in his skills that he gets for the Barbarian class.
Yeah, this is something that, we're going to have to suss it out. So he gets to choose 2 from animal handling, athletics, intimidation, nature, perception, and survival. And he already has athletics and survival. So he gets to pick 2 from animal handling, intimidation, nature, and perception. I'm going to start with perception. He's a raider. He knows how to keep an eye out. and pay attention to what's going on around him. He doesn't have a great wisdom, but he's going to get to his proficiency bonus to that, so that will be helpful. So between animal handling, intimidation, and nature.
Right. And I'm going to make an argument for animal handling because he does have sexual intercourse with bears.
He does.
At least he says he does. So I think that if there's any truth to these tales, which I do doubt, but if there were truth to these tales, he would definitely be very good at handling animals.
Animal handling works. It does. I mean, you could make a case for intimidation, but
right.
But like, yeah.
Right. He does good around Ghost. You know, there's other things there as well, but intimidation is also a really good one, and it's also really good in play as well too. But I wouldn't go necessarily with nature. There, you don't see a lot of that.
I'm not really seeing nature for him. Survival, yes, but like knowing, yeah, like you could make the argument, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, so we're looking at either animal handling or intimidation. I think that the intimidation is probably going to be more helpful for him as a character, and you could really go either way with both of them. And so I'd probably just go ahead and do add the intimidation as the final skill.
Okay.
Just because you could really go either way, and in play this would probably be more helpful for him as a character.
Well, lets him utilize his good charisma for something as well.
Exactly. So that
it's a little gamey, but
+5.
It's a little gamey, but it's a game.
Right. It is a game. It is a game, right? So that would put his okay. So he's got a +3 perception. You know, he's not a bard. He's not a rogue. He doesn't get a lot of different
skills. But like he still is paying attention to what's going on around him.
Exactly. So his wisdom is going to be 0. Arcana intelligence -1.
Yeah, like don't ask him about magic stuff.
No, don't ask him about a lot of things, actually.
Right. But if you need him to lift and carry,
he's your man.
Right, with that athletics of 6. So his deception is a 2.
Intelligence is a -1.
Yeah, insight as well. God, these numbers are so small. I'm having to lean in and like old man look over the top of my glasses.
I know. I can make it a little bit bigger.
No, it's okay.
Okay.
I just want to
so that we can get this finished, like this part finished, and make it a little
persuasion. Yeah. Get on to leveling up and then doing like his feats, because he'll have 3 feats.
Okay, it's got a 1 in dex.
Yep.
They are so small. So the next time that we do one of these, remind me that I need to be an Internet Explorer so that this can.
Okay, I will try to. Yes. Asking me to be the one to remember anything is a losing proposition, but I will try.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, so there we go. We have got Tormund, Giantsbane.
As a level 1.
As a level 1. We've got to get the rest of him put together.
I mean, it would still have a feat of some kind, but we'll just do all the feats at the end. Or now, whichever you prefer. But yeah, leveling up. Okay. He gets level 2 barbarian. He gets 2 abilities: reckless attack and danger sense.
And reckless attack, he is going to definitely use a lot because his AC is terrible. Oh no,
It's
no,
not terrible.
so they're gonna hit him anyway. So they're probably gonna hit him anyway.
Yeah, it's not terrible, but it's not great.
It's not a great AC. Like they've got a good chance. He's got a good chance of being hit.
But with 93 hit points and taking half damage from most attacks, he's going to be
right.
He's going to be pretty okay. By the way, every time we make these characters, it comes through my mind again. I really want to just do the Long Night, Battle of Winterfell. We've got all the pre-generated characters. Here you go. Here's everything you need. Just play this character. You're Tormund Giantsbane. You're Arya Stark. Exactly. You're the Hound.
Right, exactly.
Survive against endless waves of undead. Let's do this.
Exactly.
There's no narrative. There's really no narrative there, but like, you know.
I mean, you can put Bran in the like season 8. You could put Bran in the Weirwood Grove, and you'd be like, you must protect. Your object is to protect. And kill the Night King.
And we're going to make a bunch of characters, and any of them that aren't being played by people could just be NPCs that certain characters want to protect. It could you can do action-driven narrative. It requires a lot of setup, which you don't have time for in a one-shot.
Right, exactly. But yeah, this is actually very exciting, and I'm glad that we've got at least one full barbarian, because they just wreck. They really do wreck shop.
Mm-hmm.
Really.
I'm playing two different characters right now. One is a bard, one is a barbarian, and my barbarian is my favorite.
Yeah, I would have to say that my barbarian and my fighter, the ones that just get in there and start swinging, are my favorite characters to play.
Okay, I'm a wizard main, but I'm really enjoying the characters that I'm playing right now, although they are admittedly outside my normal. So at level 2, you'll get reckless attack and danger sense, which is advantage on dex saves against things you can see coming, which is nice.
And you have the option to take reckless attack or not, to attack recklessly or not.
Correct.
So
it's not something you have to do.
Don't want, because they will get advantage on you in the next turn. But if you're already pretty certain that they're going to hit you, then it becomes a no-brainer. Just go ahead and recklessly attack.
Right. There are definitely times when you should, and definitely times when you shouldn't. If you're fighting against something that has a low armor class, don't do it. It's not meant for horde monsters that are going to have difficulty hitting you. You don't want to give advantage to a horde to get advantage, generally speaking.
Okay. So we've got our danger sense and our reckless attack. Let's see, and second level.
Yeah, so I'm looking ahead.
Advantage on dex saving throws against effects you can see. So what I like to do is, and this is, I usually like to put it when I'm in the other browser. I'm able to kind of input different things. And here I can't, so it's just going to be right there. But normally I would have a little box right by my dexterity as a reminder, because in game I'm terrible at remembering what I'm going to, the little nuances that I'm going to get advantage on. So I like to put reminders right there.
Yeah, that's something that I've been thinking about lately, about a better way to do that, where I'm trying out a new system right now. I'm going to play Fallout with some friends. I'm learning a new system to play it in. And one of the ways that I'm going to try to get around it is to make little note cards for initiative. When you roll initiative, your character gets to do this and this happens,
Absolutely. So Carl Karsnark, I love rhubarb pies as well. And I do make rhubarb pie Unfortunately, the only time that you can get fresh rhubarb here in Texas is during Thanksgiving. So I can only make here in Texas rhubarb pie during Thanksgiving. So unless you guys know where to get some rhubarb in the Austin area, please let me know.
I don't.
We need to get some seeds for rhubarb. Just got done fertilizing the strawberries. So I have been looking at some areas to purchase some, and you can actually get the rhubarb rooted. But in my area, it doesn't grow well, and that's why people in Texas don't eat a lot of rhubarb or rhubarb pie. It's because it doesn't grow here, and that's why it's so popular up north. So. Oh, are you in the Austin Growers Group? I think that I might, the Hill Country Bloomers.
Texas represent.
I know. Are you in the Hill Country Bloomers? I think we may be in the same growing Facebook group. I love gardening, so definitely ask. I'd like to know if maybe there's some variants of rhubarb. So, have you ever had rhubarb pie, Stephen? You are a Texan through and through, right? So,
I am a very Texan person. Rhubarb is fine.
So you have had it.
Yeah, sure.
Okay. Yeah, I love.
Okay, Ria's in Abilene. I'm right outside of Dallas, and you're right outside of Austin, right?
Yes, I'm right outside. I am in the Round Rock area of Texas.
Yeah,
Right above Austin.
I'm in the Dallas burbs.
Yes. So I can definitely take a look. If I could successfully grow rhubarb here, I would. It's perennial, like it grows back every single year. But I am so sorry that I have gone on a tangent about rhubarb. It is very good, and if you haven't had rhubarb pie, you need to give it a try. Oh, Carl, it is 100 degrees in North Florida. It's fairly nice out today. It's like what,
Yeah,
80?
it's been storming a lot here.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know, but for like the last week, it's rained almost every day.
Yes.
Oh, you've dug up 80. It's about 80 degrees here right now.
Yeah, it's not too bad. It's been our sun finally came up. We had our storm warnings this morning. I was trying to record. I am working on a follow-up video on the soul, and I was trying to record. And for some reason, I have been having some really bad luck, and it started thundering again. And then we had the sirens, like the storm sirens, going off twice this morning.
Yeah, we've had. We haven't had that kind of weather, but we've had just a lot of rain, and some of it. We had hail a couple of times, not a bit big, but enough that some people's older roofs got damaged.
Right.
They were marble size, maybe slightly bigger than a marble.
Yeah, we have not gotten any hail this year, knock on wood. I had a lot of plants take a lot of damage last year, and I have not received any hail. So, the everything is coming up really nice in the garden, and I haven't had any big amounts of damage so far.
Well, Garth Greenhand, I am not a plant dad or garden bro or anything like that. I've tried, and it's not my thing. Like, yeah. I could do it to survive, but like people thoroughly enjoy that hobby, and to me, it's just like maybe it's because I worked outdoors and dug in the dirt a lot at work as a land surveyor, that I'm just like, I don't want to go outside and dig in the dirt on my off time.
Oh no, I'm outside at least looking at my garden about once, twice, maybe 3 times a day. Because I don't know. It's
I worked outdoors. I mean, you wouldn't know it now to look at me, but I used to be very, very dark tan. I just have worked. I quit working outside 2 years ago, so I've gotten very pale.
Yeah. I am starting to get my color because of all the gardening. So I am starting to, hopefully by the summer, I'll be nice and dark and get all of the vitamin D that I can absorb. So let's go back to
let's make a character. We forgot.
I know, right?
So I was looking ahead at the leveling, and extra attack, fast movement, they're going to get, and feral instinct they're going to get. But we need to look at the path, and there's a lot of potential paths, but path of the totem warrior with the bear totem just seems right.
Bear totem's really good,
and it has the benefit of being one of the best subclasses.
It is one of the best subclasses. The my favorite barbarian, so the Momanda, the emasculator, she is a bear totem barbarian. Just wreck shop everywhere.
My barbarian is not bear totem, but I've played with other people who play bear totem barbarians, and yeah, they're just fantastic.
So let's see what we get with bear totem. Of course, you get the Spirit Seeker. Yours is a path that seeks attunement with the natural world, giving you a kinship with beasts. At 3rd level, when you adopt this path, you gain the ability to cast Beast Sense and speak with animal spells, but only as rituals. So this is the very cool thing.
I forget that's a thing.
And speak with animals. These are rituals, but you can cast rituals. Speak with animals. And that's why I like to make sure that I have everything kind of written down, and I'll even try and enter in reminders in different areas. So where you can just add text box in an Internet Explorer, I will just go ahead and possibly where it goes to animal handling, I might put right here a little text box saying that I can cast Beast Sense and speak with animals as a ritual. And that way, if I'm encountering an animal and I'm not necessarily thinking about, the fact that I'm able to cast spells and I'm just looking at my animal handling, it's a reminder that I can cast those.
Right. Like, I don't get, I play Path of the Ancestor Guardian Barbarian. It's maybe the best like true tank, because they get their ability is like when I hit something, it has disadvantage to attack anything except me. So like it's a very defensive, protective style.
Yes, and that's great if you are in a party with a lot of spellcasters. That is a great one to take.
I am. Well, when I made that character, I was the frontliner. Now there are 2 of us, but still. But yeah, Bear Totem is great because he'll take half damage from everything except psychic damage, which, how much psychic damage is there? It is probably the least common damage type.
Mm-hmm.
But while raging, he'll just take half damage from literally everything else.
Exactly. So we
his
are to...
huge pile of hit points, taking half damage from everything. He has theoretically like 186 hit points, if you want to think about it that way, which is nuts.
Okay, so we have got our Great Axe, Unarmored Defense, Barbarian, Bear Barbarian.
Can you scroll up?
Yes.
We're just, thank you. I just want to look at what you're looking at.
And okay, so we are while I am onto the page for the path,
right?
looking at 6th level.
Right,
Now,
because
this
at
is
6th level, get another ability.
exactly. And this is something that's I found very intriguing. So at 6th level, you gain a magical benefit based on the totem animal of your choice. You can choose the same animal you selected at 3rd level or a different one. So for your aspect of the beast, you do not have to take bear again.
Correct.
So
You can.
that leaves. Go ahead.
You can, but you don't have to.
You don't have to. And the at 6th level, the option for the bear isn't as good. So
I agree. It's not.
It's just the carrying capacity, which it comes up in play sometimes, right? But it doesn't come up that often. Now, so for like with Path of the Elk, your travel pace is doubled, and you can make that for you and up to 10 companions while they're within 60 feet of you if you're not incapacitated, which is really great if you're trying to get somewhere fast. Tiger, you gain proficiency in 2 skills, either from athletics, acrobatics, stealth, and survival.
We already have 2 of them, so we would just get the other 2, which is acrobatics and stealth.
Which stealth is great. Stealth is
It is.
really. Mm-hmm.
But is it Tormund? Maybe.
Eye of the Tiger. Let's see. Wolf.
And
You
then,
gain the hunting sensibilities of a wolf. You can track other creatures while traveling at a fast pace, and you can move stealthily while traveling at a normal pace. So that's also good. The eagle is really good though. You gain the eyesight of an eagle. You can see up to 1 mile away with no difficulty. Able to discern fine details as though looking at someone no more than 100 feet away from you. Additionally, dim light does not impose disadvantage on your wisdom or perception checks. So that's also very good. But
it is.
Tormund, because we are building Tormund.
None of these actually are screaming at me, to be honest with you. You're right in that the bear thing in most games, the aspect of the bear is not that exciting.
Exactly.
You can carry more, and you have advantage on strength checks to move heavy things, which is fine. I'm tempted to just give him bear again, despite it not being that interesting.
Right.
Because it's the most flavor appropriate, in my opinion.
Right. I do think that it's the most appropriate. I think you're right. It's not very fun. But yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think that of the options, that bear would probably be the most fitting for him.
Yeah, because he'll break stuff. I can imagine him getting, angry and lifting heavy objects. Sure. Tormund is he's a big, strong guy. He's not the Mountain. He's not Sandor Clegane, but with a 17 strength, he's definitely bringing big muscles.
Okay. All right, so we have got that taken care of, and we will go ahead and move over to our 4th level option. We will move back over.
4th level is a feat. 8th level is a feat. He's got
3 feats.
3 feats. Now, do you want to do all 3 now? Do you want to save them for the end?
I think we'll save them for the end.
Okay.
Feats for me are always an afterthought. I always do that after I do the full build, because I look at what my character might be lacking.
Right.
I go from there. So that's usually how I do my build, is I finalize with the feats. Okay. So we've got our 3 feats. Extra attack at 5th.
Right. And now we have the fast movement ability as well, but we've already recorded that in the speed. In our movement speed. Extra attack.
Yes, we do.
Okay.
Speed of 40.
as long as we're not wearing heavy armor.
Nope, we are in unarmored defense, so we are perfectly fine. All right, at 7th, we receive our feral instincts. So your instincts are so honed that you have advantage on initiative rolls. So let's see if we're able to reflect that in here. Initiative plus advantage. Okay, and that's really good. Getting a +1 plus advantage on your initiative, that is great.
Yes, and advantage, mathematically speaking, it's not perfect because it depends on what your target number is, but it's similar to getting a +5.
Right.
I mean, the minimum and maximum you can possibly roll are the same, but it shifts the probability almost to the effect of a +5, which is a huge bonus on a 20-sided die.
Oh yeah, that's very good. That is a very good, but I'm sorry. I don't know why I've got the worst luck when it comes to initiative. I am always one of the last people to go. One of these days I'm going to try and make a build where I have just no other option but to go first because I'm tired of terrible luck.
Make a swashbuckler rogue with the alert, and I roll initiative. Okay, I roll a d20 plus 13 or something,
right,
like that, and then at advantage.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I need to be a rogue. And like I said at our last build, is I have never built a rogue. I do not play rogues because well, first of all, we have somebody in our group that loves to do the rogue and plays a really excellent rogue. And so that aspect is usually already taken care of. And so we can just kind of go crazy on everything else. But yeah, maybe I need to build a rogue so I can just go first one of these times.
I mean, look, the advantage there is huge.
Mm-hmm.
So does that bring us to the end of, so we've got the path stuff. We've got all the barbarian core class stuff. We've just got 3 feats to look at. This is all
3 feats.
Okay.
Now, isn't there a feat that deals with beer? I feel like there's one that deals with beer.
With bear?
Beer. No, not bear. Beer.
I'm still not catching the word you're saying.
Like BEER.
Oh, beer.
Beer.
Okay. I'm sorry. I'm just I keep hearing bear.
It's okay. It's okay. We talked a lot about bears so far today. Talking about sexual intercourse with a bear. We've talked about becoming a bear, bear totems, bear instincts. We've definitely covered all aspects of bears today. So me saying beer, I could see where you that would be confused. So let's go ahead and find our feats for.
I'm already got a list of them in front of me, and
okay, what do you got so far? Great Weapon Masters right there.
Yeah, Great Weapon Master is an obvious choice. And actually, we talked about it a moment ago. Alert is fantastic.
Alert is fantastic. Yeah, I definitely feel like. Yeah, is there any question about Great Weapon Master?
I don't think so.
Okay.
And the alert is just so good. I mean, +5 initiative, can't be surprised.
And fighting initiate would be good.
Fighting initiate?
Yes, where you gain a
fighting style.
Yes, that might be good.
There are some really good fighting styles.
You got any recommendations in the chat?
There's so many feats though. Like I'm just kind of scrolling through looking at. There's an inspiring leader one, which each creature within 30 feet of you, up to 6 friendly creatures, which can include yourself, within 30 feet of you who can hear you and understand you, gain temporary hit points equal to your level plus your charisma modifier. Temporary hit points. Comes back on a short rest. That's not bad.
And which one was that again?
That's called Inspiring Leader.
Inspiring Leader, that's right.
Ooh.
You know, every time I build a character, I look at that one and I never take it. But it is good. Do you want to? Okay, I'm writing it in, but I don't know if we've decided on it.
We have it. We're gonna like.
We'll put it there for the meantime.
Yeah. You know another feat that's crazy, and this is very gaming, but the mobile feat, which is even more speed.
Oh yeah, that is a good feat. One of the people that I play with, they made a tabaxi that had the mobile feat, which it's, you know, basically very, very similar. The tabaxi are the like fastest. And then he was also a rogue. This is the player who always plays a rogue. So he made this tabaxi who's also a rogue that had the mobile feat. And so he would just go everywhere and disengage.
Move, bonus action dash. Yeah.
Oh my God. He would be everywhere.
Yeah, you gain even better mobility with a monk. But yeah, you could definitely have a very mobile rogue like that. So there are feats that have prerequisites like you need to be a half-orc. But there's one called Orcish Fury, which I think is actually pretty good.
Orcish Fury, you can only do that if you're an orc or a half-orc, correct?
Yeah, but like... Yeah. Look, wildlings are kind of orky in their way. Anyway, probably not, but...
Sentinel's also very good. I know a lot of fighters and barbarians take Sentinel, and Sentinel is another one of those that I always look at, but I never do end up taking. But when I see it in play, it's always very effective.
Yeah, I'm just kind of scrolling through the list, looking at it. A lot of them are nowhere.
And of course, there's durable, you know, +1 to Constitution minimum. Let's see.
Lucky. He's lucky. I'll give him that.
Oh, I love the lucky. You know what? He is lucky too. And I love that lucky feat. That is coming.
I mean, kissed. He's a ginger. He's kissed by fire, and that's lucky.
That is lucky. He is lucky. The wildlings do consider him lucky. We could totally give him lucky.
Okay. I'm just continuing to look at this list, but
So we are looking at Great Weapon Master and Lucky, which I think are two great feats, especially for this character. I think that's great. We're just looking at our last one, our final one, and I wrote in inspiring leader. You were talking about that earlier.
Yeah, alert is good.
Yeah, I really like
Fighting initiate is good.
initiative. Yeah, fighting initiate because, like you were mentioning, that you feel like that he is also could class into a fighter fairly
Right.
well, and I definitely agree with that. And so, if we were to do the fighting initiate and give him that fighting style, it would kind of be able to incorporate that aspect of Tormund into his character in a way.
Right. And I mean, fighting styles can be quite potent. Just
They can.
I'm taking a look at all the fighting styles available now. So he can learn Battle Master maneuvers, which is a possibility. You learn one maneuver and get a couple of Battle Master dice. That would be okay. He could take. He's not going to take defensive because he doesn't wear armor, so he's not going to take it from the armor class.
Right. I think there's one
it's
for
great weapon fighting, right? I mean, it's great weapon fighting, which just means that. So he's rolling a d12 for damage. He'll re-roll a 1 or a 2.
I mean, it's not bad. I think there's some better ones. I think that there's the dueling. So if you
dueling is great for but it's a single one-handed weapon.
Right.
And we gave him a great axe.
Right. Oh, interception and protection are good. I have used though. I believe the protection fighting style. But it only works if you kind of have somebody in the front lines with you.
Oh, and you must be wielding a shield.
Oh, yeah. So that's not going to work. We are also looking at
interception. When a creature you can see hits a target other than you within 5 feet, you can use your reaction to reduce the damage by D10 plus your proficiency bonus. So it's just like blocking an attack against your buddy next to you.
Right. So our only options are the superior technique, where we would get a fighting maneuver,
right?
Or we would be looking at our great weapon fighting, which isn't as strong as a lot of the other fighting styles. It's probably one of the weaker ones, unless you are really bad at rolling damage.
Well, it depends on the weapon too, because I think for great swords, it's actually fantastic because they roll 2 6-sided dice. So you're getting a chance to re-roll, the lowest third, not the lowest sixth, and you get to do it twice on both of them. Like, it's great on a great sword. It's just okay on a great axe.
Exactly. And you have more odds to actually roll a 1 or a 2, because if you only have 6 sides, that's 2 out of 6 or every 1 out of 3. Whereas if you're rolling a D12, it's like 1 out of 12.
Oh, so, I'm gonna game the system real quick. I'm gonna look at some rules, just for my own edification. I'm looking at the barbarian's unarmored defense. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Versus what his AC would be with like a light armor?
Right.
Like a leather armor?
Or hide. Yeah, because that can let him, that might be worth taking the defense fighting style. All right, hold up. I'm looking at armor now. This is how I make characters too, by the way. Successive rabbit holes. So hide armor will give him a 12 plus his dexterity modifier. It's not even going to be close. It's not worth it. $12 plus dex modifier is a 13 compared to the 15 he already has. That's not worth it.
Okay.
I mean, it could be worth it if he was wearing like half plate or a breastplate or something like
Right.
that, but he's not. I don't know. I think we're kind of at like protection.
Well, and you need a shield with
Right.
protection as
Okay.
well.
So interception or great weapon fighting.
No, and interception, you also need a shield.
No, a shield or a simpler martial weapon. It just seems like this, that like maybe
or a simple martial weapon.
Yeah, for this build, it feels like maybe this isn't the way to go. The fighting initiate isn't the way to go because
Right.
we're not finding a fighting style that's going to make a huge difference. Because to me, the two best are dueling and archery.
Exactly. Okay, so what is our con right now? Our constitution?
18 plus 4.
18. Okay, I'm looking at the durable feat.
Which
That's
gives a
not
plus.
super good. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay, well, that leads me back to wanting to advocate for either inspiring leader or alert again.
I'm okay with alert. I feel like
because alert's going to be like you're going first. It's +6.
Right.
It'll have a +6 to initiative with advantage because of the barbarian stuff. He's just going to go first. Plus, you can't be surprised, which is good. Like it's a solid feat.
Oh, Carl Karsnark says Tormund's a ginger, so he gets +10 in charisma right there from the start.
Right. I'm just catching up on the chat too.
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead. I feel like alert would be good. We are going to go ahead and roll with alert as our third feat.
Okay, I like it. It's a good choice.
Not bad. And I love how you incorporated the kiss by fire for the lefty feet. That makes a lot of
like
sense.
it's right there in the text, you know.
It really is. He's lucky. His perception, the passive perception is going to be a 13.
8 plus his perception modifier is a 5.
Well, it's your perception plus 10, so it'd be 13.
I think it's 8. I could be. Oh, am I thinking of? Am I thinking of spell save DC? Maybe.
I think you are. I think you are. Passive perception is 10 plus your perception.
Yeah, you're right. Wow. Okay. I don't use passive perception a whole lot anyway, but it does get used. So, hey, look.
I used it.
I've been known to be wrong.
I used it in game a lot when we played the Stroud, the Stroud adventure.
Strahd?
Yes, Strahd. I mispronounce it.
Yeah. The vampire overlord of.
Yes.
Barovia.
Yeah, the Curse of Strahd. That's it.
Yeah, Curse of Strahd.
Mm-hmm. Yes,
that's old school character. Strahd's been around for a long time, since the 80s at least.
Yes, that's my ranger character that's in that adventure. Her name is Bubba.
Bubba? Her name is Bubba?
Her name is Bubba.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, I don't know if y'all can see. I'm wearing one of my favorite shirts today. It says, "You can certainly try,"
Oh, yes.
which is one of my favorite things to say as a dungeon master. Can I do this? And I'm like, you can try, sure.
Yes, and I appreciate it when DMs actually do that, because if they just like flat out, if they flat out just like, no, you can't do that. Like, oh
Well,
darn.
yeah, like I might,
Let's
like
try.
I'm a pretty, I don't know. I think I'm a good dungeon master. People pay me to do it, so I must be doing something right. Um, but yeah, like you want to let players be creative, but you also don't want to let them just run free, so to speak.
Mhm.
Uh, part of the part of the great feeling about a D&D game is like working towards something, not having it go your way, but continuing to work towards it, and then leveling up and finally getting, break. Like if everything is easy, nothing feels epic.
Exactly. Um, so I don't know how to pronounce your name. Ekme. I guess is that supposed to be Rekme?
It's Ekme.
Um,
Re
so um,
Ekme. Yeah.
so it
It's,
says that D&D did a skit recently where one of the characters couldn't roll a high enough perception to find the ladder that he was holding.
see, that's done. Okay, like if you're
Well, I think it was a
holding,
skit. It was a skit. I think they're making
yeah,
fun of themselves.
I get it,
So,
but like
it's
I've
like
played with dungeon
satire.
masters that make you roll for every stupid thing, and I'm like, no, you do not need to roll to walk down the stairs. No, I don't need to say I thrust forward for my attack to have any chance of hitting. Like
Mm-hmm.
there is this sort of like meme idea of the dungeon master being in opposition to the players, and like I work very hard to dispel that idea from everybody that plays at my table. I am not in opposition to you. This is a collaboration between both of us. Yes, I have to put obstacles in your way. Yes, I have to be the one to roll for the bad guys to have machinations to overcome you. But I'm not trying to beat you. The point is for you to win, for you to be awesome heroes who get there by overcoming these challenging obstacles. My job is to put a hurdle in your way just high enough for you to barely clear it. That other people can't clear, and to put progressively higher hurdles in front of you so that you can clear them and feel that sense of accomplishment over time. Like, God, ogres are a great D&D monster, and I'll tell you why. They're easy to hit with an 11 armor class. They got about 60 hit points, and they hit hard enough to be dangerous to low level characters. So like they make great scary monsters for first, second, third level characters. But by the time people get to seventh, eighth level, they're just a great mob monster. But if they fought them at second level and then they're fighting them again at eighth level, they'll remember the difference. Like, oh my gosh, we were second level and we fought three ogres, the four of us, and we barely made it out. Now we're eighth
Right.
level and we just fought 15 ogres and wiped the floor with them. Yeah, like I just this skit where somebody can't roll high enough to find the ladder they're holding. I mean, it's relatable in a certain way, but it also just made me go off. I'm sorry. I've got to.
Oh no, it's okay.
I
It's okay.
occasionally
It's
have
funny.
to rant about
I
bad
was just
DMing advice.
no, that's okay. It's really funny because I was doing a Call of Cthulhu game, and it was my first Call of Cthulhu game. So I was very excited for that because I've read some H.P. Lovecraft. I'm very
Mhm.
familiar with the mythos and kind of understanding how his horror works and everything. And so I'm like, I'm going to build a great character. I thought that I was just building this really good character, and it was this researcher, and she had proficiency in arcana, like or proficiency in the occult, and also proficiency in anthropology and archaeology, and just a lot of things that are very important in the Lovecraft universe, like in the actual writings and everything. They're very important. But turns out in the game, it's not that important. So I only made my library use like a 65 or so, even though my profession is a researcher. So apparently in the game, I did not realize how important library use was, or at least it was in this adventure. So we were in the library all the time, and I was just rolling crappy. So we had a FBI agent who had like an 80 or something crazy in library research. So, but even though I was this researcher and I had like a 99 education, which was the highest you could have, and all these different proficiencies are like super important, and I'm very knowledgeable, I can't use a library. So
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I get it. Like it's your first go around. I've had
yeah.
experiences like that with new games. The first time I ever played a game of Shadowrun, I made the character. I was like, this is going to be great. Brought him to the table, died in the first combat.
Oh, wow.
And I'm like, okay, well, I learned a thing or two about how this game works. Let me make another character and come back with that one. And that one went on to have a very successful career. But yeah, it'd be like that sometimes. We have, I played Call of Cthulhu for a little while. It's not my game.
Mm-hmm.
I'm either sci-fi or fantasy, like the sort of like eldritch horror thing. It's fine. Like I've read Lovecraft and enjoyed it, but yeah, it's just not my game.
Right. Yeah.
But yeah, there's a whole group of people in our gaming circle. There's Nessie runs a Call of Cthulhu game.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Call of Cthulhu.
Call of Cthulhu. That's great. Yeah, I played once, and I realized after that I probably am not going to play again. If I do, I will have a character with a lot higher library use. But we'll see.
The character I played was basically like a mob enforcer. So I didn't have any of the. I played a mob enforcer who, went out to the woods to do whatever mob enforcers do in the woods and saw something he shouldn't have, and yeah, just fell into it that way. But yeah, it was fun.
Very cool. Very cool. Well, are we?
I think we've meandered completely off the topic as well.
Did. Let
so,
me see it.
Looking at Tormund, the only piece of equipment we gave him is a great axe. Obviously, he's got his clothes.
Mm-hmm.
But we don't really see him.
He has cold weather gear.
Yeah, sure. He has cold weather gear.
Okay.
And like, he's got climbing gear, like he's got climbing picks and clippings.
It's like.
Part of me is already thinking about the one shot I would run with these characters, and I'm like, I don't care about climbing gear. It won't matter. But like,
I mean, there is like a big, like a 300-foot ice wall.
Well, it's the Battle of Winterfell is what I would be doing. But like, even so, like this character is not being made expressly for that purpose. We're trying to create the most well-rounded character that we can. So yeah. By the way, his initiative goes up to a +6 with advantage.
Oh, with the alert feat. That's right. That's really good. That's really good. He is
going first.
I might want to play him, to be honest with you.
Oh man, Carl Karsnark just made me feel extremely old. Talking about the Injustice for All album came out 35 years ago.
Oh wow.
Metallica's Injustice for All, which is their second best album, maybe. Master of Puppets is their best. I stand by that.
Mm-hmm.
And Justice for All is extremely good. The Black Album is extremely good. Anyway, 35 years ago. I'm old.
All right. Do we want to do the ideals, bonds, and flaws?
Sure.
Okay.
So flaws is
So I know that the wildlings kind of follow strength. It's kind of similar to the Dothraki. They value strength and resilience in their culture. And at least Tormund in the show, he definitely displays that because he is just head over heels for Bran because she is this big, strong woman, and he'd like to make some big, strong children with her. So I definitely feel as though he does.
I think that he like respects strength. Yeah, values strength. I think he's got another idea where he, like, he's not a kneeler. He won't kneel.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
As far as bonds go, I would say just like the wildling people in general, like bonds. So a bond is the thing that ties you to the world, that the thing that's important to you. And he doesn't have a lot of people that are that close to him. Although I would argue by the point of the story where I would be using this character in the Battle of Winterfell, his bonds might include Jon Snow, somebody who's come to trust like a brother. Yeah. Yeah.
And he puts up with the watch. What does he do with the watch?
But that's not a bond.
He tolerates the watch. And
yeah, like he's come around that, but I wouldn't put that as a bond. The bond is Jon Snow.
Okay. So we also have flaws.
No, none. Flawless person. Flawless human being.
Flawless. He is flawless. He is perfect. He's perfect. Right? No, he's a little rough around the edges.
Yeah, and he's likes to tell tall tales.
Mm-hmm. He's, what is it, the horn blower? He's a big bag of wind.
Right. Oh.
Yeah, this would be a great character to role play.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
Okay, and personality traits. I guess he's
jovial. Is that the word I'm looking for? He's definitely like a happy, laughing.
Mm-hmm.
Is jovial the right word there, though? I don't feel like it's quite the right word, but it's as close as I can get right now.
Jovial is good. I think that's I think that he is social and good-hearted. He's very social.
Yeah. Yes, he likes to tell tall tales, but he's also a generally honest person. Yeah.
Kind of. Yep. Okay. I think so.
I can't believe he's got 2 spells. He can ritual cast Speak with Animals,
Yes.
or like that would not come in. It's not going to be used very often. It's really not.
Mm-hmm.
Even in most games of D&D, Speak with Animals is useful, but yeah, charismatic. He is charismatic. Wreck me. We gave him a charisma of 14.
You know what's going to be very useful, possibly, potentially, is when we get to other characters that speak with dead.
Yeah.
In this adventure, that would be
There's
kind of
going to be
very
very
interesting.
few people who will have access to Speak with Dead spell, because you're going to be looking at probably a full caster to get to that point.
Right.
And we're not going to have many full casters like Melisandre, Bran.
Yeah, I can pick one. Yeah.
Melisandre and Bran are the 2 that come screaming to
right.
Beyond that, like, only incidental magic.
Exactly. So who do you want to do next?
Okay. There's a couple of good options. And I'm going to throw both of them out. All right. The 2 that I'm most excited to get to next are either Jon Snow or Brienne of Tarth.
Okay.
And I'm going to make the argument now that I'm going to think about both of them from the paladin standpoint. I know Jon Snow's title is Ranger, but his oath to the Night's Watch is a very paladin-y thing. Brienne is also she's an oath keeper. I want to. We could do Jaime Lannister as a oath breaker paladin,
right?
But the missing hand thing makes it difficult to sort of like D&D stat him properly.
Right. Exactly.
That's why I'm leaning towards Brienne of Tarth or Jon Snow. I'd
like to at least venture out of the fighters, like the front lines and our tanks, and venture out a little bit.
I mean, there's not a whole, part of the limitation there is the story only gives us so many characters that don't have this frontline fighting.
What do you think of Tyrion?
Oh, I haven't.
Okay.
That's fun.
Yes. Yeah. So, you want to try it?
Oh man, yeah. I've got it. That gives us a couple of weeks to think about it, but yeah.
Yeah. That's
because Tyrion might be our bard.
Lots of options. There's a lot of options there.
We could do bard. You could do rogue. Either one of those. And maybe a multi-class.
Yes. All right. So
I think we finished with Tormund here, though. We've got his, as far as I can tell, there's nothing left to do on his character sheet. At least not the bit I can see.
I can look it over and before we play, I'll definitely try and clean everything up and finalize everything and add reminders and things like that.
For people in the chat, tell us if there is a character that you're just dying for. I want to do probably Brienne of Tarth the most. Jon Snow would be a lot of fun to do as well. But I think Brienne of Tarth is just a straight paladin.
Yes.
Jon Snow is a multi-class, I think. And he might even be an absurd type character where he's got 3 or 4 classes in an 8th level character.
Carl Karsnark is saying that we need to do
Mushroom. Mushroom is a fey creature. They're not so much a character as they are a stat block for a monster.
Yeah, they're like an NPC.
Yeah, Anna Clara, the idea is to do a massive fight that's like the Long Night Battle of Winterfell, once we get enough characters put together, they'll all be right there, and then we can just hand them out and do a big fight.
Okay, so Sam says it was actually 36 years ago.
Thank you, Sam, for that.
Oh,
Thank you.
Patchface. Patchface would definitely be an NPC as well. Patchface. Oh, but Patchface would be good.
Yeah, again, like part of what I'm like thinking about the future and the way we're going to use these characters at the table. Patchface is not going to bring a lot to it. Tyrion might. We've seen him fight. We know he can fight. We also know that he is a great leader. So we could make a Tyrion that is sort of like still on the battlefield.
Right. Inspiring leader. We could even give him a racial class of a dwarf. We could.
Or a halfling.
Yeah, or a halfling. We could. I think all those are great. Like you could do so much with Tyrion. You have a lot of different options and avenues to build him. But he's definitely one of those characters that has a high wisdom and a high intelligence.
Yes.
And you need one of those in your party. You need one of those characters.
Again, like if we're doing the battle for Winterfell, there's you need different things. You do not need the balanced, who's going to go do the explore. No, you're getting attacked at Winterfell. Like,
yes,
limits what you need, but like at the same time, I want to have as many of these characters kitted out as we can. And Tyrion is a great idea.
All right. Well, I think that it is set. In 2 weeks, we are going to build Tyrion.
Fantastic.
And then that will be our 4th character. So we will have 4 playable characters at that point.
Yep. We've already done the Hound, Arya,
yes,
and now Tormund, Giantsbane.
Very nice.
Get Tyrion in there. Yeah. And by the time we're done, we're going to have Brienne of Tarth and Jon Snow. I think those are 2 that are going to be fun to do.
Right. And Melisandre and Bran are going to be in
who else
there.
is going to be great fun to build? Davos.
Davos will as well.
Because he's going to have some rogue levels as well.
Right. Because he is a smuggler. He would definitely get he is a smuggler.
There's a smuggler background.
Right. You could do so much with him, to be honest with you. You could do a lot.
Yeah, but Tyrion next. Tune in next time.
Let's do Tyrion. We need Tyrion in our party. Everybody needs a Tyrion in their party. So once you got Tormund and Tyrion, you have all of the humor you need right there for your party. So, okay. Well, just an update on my channel. I do have a video out that was put out last week on where the location of the soul is in A Song of Ice and Fire. That is available for members. I do have a video that I'm working on. I'm doing the audio for right now, and that's going to be part 2. And then that will be available for members probably sometime next week. And I am getting ready for the show. I'd like to do a character build for the show as well, like maybe a Daemon Targaryen or
I am not going to be as good at knowing the fire and blood stuff.
Okay, no, that's okay.
I mean, I know D&D very well, but I do not know fire and blood as well.
Right. But so that's what I have going on. I've got a lot of scripts already written for House of the Dragon, and so during House of the Dragon time, I will have more content available as long as I can keep up with it. So I just recently switched from full-time to part-time. So instead of working 3 days a week, I work 2, and that may help with putting videos out. We'll see. But anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for coming, and be looking out for the new content. And Steve, you want to remind everybody where they can find you?
Yeah, like if you, I really don't do the social media thing much anymore. Like, but if you, I'm real Stephen Stark. Stephen with a V here. I just put it in the chat there. I'm Real Steven Stark. If you really want to get a hold of me, you can find me that on Twitter, X, whatever the hell it's called now. I do have a YouTube channel called Here Be Dragons, which I haven't streamed on in half a year. But now, if you want to play some D&D, though, let me know. It's what I do. I'm good at it. I've got 5 groups going right now that most of them have been going on a year or more. I've got one group that's been doing it for about 4 months. They're still fairly new, but yeah, I'm your DM, man. Come get some. If you've never played before, I specialize in teaching people how to play. So yeah,
excellent.
find me at Real Steven Stark on Twitter, or like tell Amanda you want to talk to me. She knows how to find me.
I can get a hold of him.
She can.
All right. Well, everybody, thank you for coming. I appreciate it. And we'll be streaming again in 2 weeks, and we will be discussing Tyrion and building a playable character. All right. Thank you, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.